Can I have your attention here in the Media Center? We're now joined by race-winning crew chief Jason Ratcliff and owner Coach Joe Gibbs. Jason, can you talk a little bit about back-to-back wins at New Hampshire Speedway and what that means to you?
Well, it seems like this is one of our better tracks. We've had some good runs here in the last 3 years, and we always look forward to coming here. It's been a track that's not only good for the team, but obviously good for Matt. And today, right off the truck, we felt like our Dollar General Camry was fast. We didn't get the qualifying and the starting position that we hoped for on Friday, but yesterday in practice we were very pleased with it. Came in this morning, didn't really make a lot of adjustments to it. Early on in the race, though, it wasn't responding the way we anticipated it would, but after the first stop, it came around and had really good speed for the rest of the day.
Great, thank you. Coach, can you talk about what it means to get a win here in New Hampshire today?
Yeah, well, first of all, our corporate sponsors, almost all of our sponsors are here with hospitalities. We come to the Northeast. This is a big deal and a big track for us. And as everybody knows, we survive with our partners and our sponsorship with these different companies, and this is a huge place for them. So we had great hospitalities today. Toyota is here with the big contingent. They're a huge partner for us. So all of those partners are a big deal, and they love coming up here, and so do we, our race team. Jason mentioned it seems as though we really like the racetrack here. It's flat and its configuration. I think it lends to, having certain abilities, and I think our guys have it. I felt real good today about Kyle. Denny had a shot. Carl kind of got stuck in traffic, but he told me, he says, I felt like if he could have got up there, he would have been a lot better off. But I just am thankful for everybody back home. Called JD, and thanks to him and everybody back there that supports the race team. I wish all those people could be here, because really a team in NASCAR, a huge contingent is back at the race shop. And it's all the hard work, people staying up late at night, everybody working as hard as they do to get the cars and prepare our teams. So I think we just got great people, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Coach, with their finishes today, Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards both clinched chase berths. Can you comment on that as well, please?
Well, that's really with NASCAR, our playoff. That's what it's all about, and it's a thrill for us to be in there. I think the key is, as you continue to work during the year, is try and keep your performance up and try and point towards the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen, because it's a little 3-race playoff. That's what it is. And so you take your best shot. But what you want to do is hopefully continue to improve as the year goes along, and that's kind of our goal.
Excellent. With that, we'll open up for questions. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll bring a wireless mic to you. Start up front here with Bob.
I have a couple of Bob Hockers, ESPN. First for Jason. For a while there, it looked like Kyle and Martin were the class of the field. Was it just a matter of track position and needing the time to get up there?
I think so. Early in the race, we weren't able to make a lot of ground up, but after the competition caution, we got another set of tires on it. Matt said the car responded really well. He was able to drive up into the top 5, and for the rest of the day, kind of stay there. But all our cars, as Coach mentioned, everyone works really hard, and I think all the JGR cars and the 78 car were really good today. I think any one of those guys could have won this race. In the end, it just came down to minimizing mistakes and having yourself in the right position when it counted, and it worked well for us. Early on, it didn't look like it was going to, but the cautions kind of fell our way, and the adjustments worked well. You don't make many stops here. It's a track position race, and we saw some long green flag runs today, and so thankfully we were able to hit on it on the few stops we had and close the deal.
And for Coach, Tony Stewart finishes second. He's kind of on a roll. He's going to Indy next week, his last race there. Can you kind of tell us what it's like, what you notice when Tony's at Indy and what that place means to him?
Yeah, I think when Tony wants it, he's kind of hard to beat. I didn't like the fact he jumped up there at the end. I didn't like the restart there. That made me nervous because I've seen Tony before. Yeah, I think when he goes to Indy, obviously, as we all know, I think one of the most I can still remember where I was when he won at Indy. I'd gone back to coaching with the Redskins. They had me in there. We're all watching TV. Huge deal for him. He loves that place, and whenever Tony Stewart wants it, he can certainly make a run at it with his skill and talent. So it'll be interesting. You hate to see him, retire because he means a lot to our sport.
Back here with Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jason, what does winning here today say about where the Joe Gibbs Racing organization is at this point in the season? Because it's, you come back here for the chase later in the year, but it's a little bit different track. It's not something you're going to see that often. But obviously, all of your guys were strong today.
Yeah, we were, and in the past, this has been a good track for us. But as you mentioned, I think our cars are where they need to be right now. But I think a lot of teams can say that we gotta keep pushing. We got to be prepared and be better when we get to that last 10. When we come back here, it's going to take a lot more than what we had today. But this has been a good place for us, and I think we saw that today running up front. The setups that we've had year after year have worked well, and you just keep building on that when you come back, and we share that information. So as one team does well, then that benefits all, and I think that's what we're seeing.
We are now joined by race winner, driver of the number $20 General Toyota, Matt Kenseth. Matt, can you talk a little bit about what it means to get a win here in New Hampshire today?
Yeah, I mean, it always feels good to win, obviously, but I think today especially, Friday, I didn't do a good job qualifying. We started in the middle of the pack. Our first run wasn't great. I don't know what he adjusted. We made some great changes for run two, and then really I felt like we had probably the best car all day. It just took forever to get there. So got behind in the pits when I got myself blocked in, and through good pit stops and good pit calls and a fast car, we're able to work our way toward the front. So definitely feels good to get the win. Last fall we squeaked one out with a little more fuel, than Kevin, and a little different strategy, but not quite as good a car. Where today I felt like we had the best car, and it always feels good when you get the win.
Questions down here? Right here in the front.
Hi, Terrell Covey, Portsmouth Herald. With this, you guys have talked a little bit about the chase, and with this track being in that first round of the chase, how important is the success that you guys have had as a team, and how much confidence does it give you coming back here in September?
I see you want me to take this one. I got to be 100% honest with you. I haven't spent 2 seconds thinking about the chase. I just haven't. I think these are all big races. I was looking forward to coming here because we've ran really well here since I've came to Joe Gibbs Racing. It's been a real turnaround for me. It used to be one of my worst places, and now I feel like it's one of our better places. So, and right now I'm excited about that, and I'm thinking about Indy, thinking about trying to figure out how to win the Brickyard. So it's been a up and down couple months for sure. But last week I felt like if all the stars would have aligned, we could have won at Kentucky if everything would have went just right for us. We were real competitive, and then they will come here and win. Obviously feels good. So I'm just thinking about moving on to Indy and hopefully being in the mix and try to get a Brickyard.
We'll take some questions upstairs to the press box. Press box, go ahead.
Matt, Drew Bonifant with the Concord Monitor. Looking there, they showed a stat during the race today. There were 200, I think, through the first 219 laps, 2 cautions, and then 5 in the following 66. Seems like that's kind of been a trend here in recent years, where you get things really get hectic for the last third of the race. Is that just how much of that is just racing in general, and how much of that is something that this track kind of causes?
Well, I didn't see any of the accidents or whatever caused all last cautions, because thankfully I was out in front of it. So it's hard for me to comment on why there were cautions or how they happened or whatever. I know the first one they had some debris out there and threw it, and then after that it just seemed to breed a lot more of them. So certainly when you're the leader and you're on 2 and you haven't been leading all day and you haven't been on 2 all day, it's definitely somewhat stressful to go through all those restarts. But thankfully I didn't mess one of them up, and we're able to get a few clean laps and get away a little bit.
Press box, you can go ahead with the second one.
Hi, Matt. Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Just comment on moving into 8th place and kind of shuffling the deck in the middle of the chase standings.
I got to be honest, 8th place isn't where we want to be. You know, we want to be in first place. So, you know, I'm glad we got a couple wins. I know that qualifies us for the chase, and you know that's exciting. But that's a few months down the road. So I'm just like I said, I'm excited we ran well last week. I'm excited we ran really well this week, and you know, just looking forward to going to Indy and hopefully, you know, continuing that momentum. It's been an up and down year. You know, beginning of the year we performed really well, and just didn't get the finishes for, it seems like a different reason, you know, every week. But then we've been a little bit up and down the last couple of months. So I'm just glad we're running good here the last few weeks, and just want to continue that, you know, the rest of the summer, and hopefully the rest of the year keep building on that, and just trying to get stronger. So. Yeah, you always want to be parked first. I don't know, with this new format and stuff, it doesn't really matter as long as you're in that top 16 after, you know, after wherever we race, Richmond in September.
We'll go to Bob, and then we'll go to Kenny.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. This is the first time you've been back to kind of the 2016 original package since Pocono. Did you expect to see any big difference as far as who might run well? I mean, everybody's had a month to work on it. It seemed like the same guys were still running well. Or is this the type of track where you wouldn't notice if anybody has made significant gains?
Well, I mean, I feel like our cars have been pretty strong all year. I felt like they were pretty strong today from what I saw. So, I mean, I think it's kind of the usual suspects that you got to beat, you know, if you're gonna win a race. I think no matter, you know, what package it is, you know, it's the 4 car and the 48 and you know, all my teammates, of course, and the Penske car. So I mean, I think it's kind of the same group you gotta beat. I don't think anybody really, you know, leaps and bounds is out there running way away from everybody. I think the rules are too tight, and everybody's pretty close to the same speed. So everybody's always trying to you know, develop their stuff and make it better. So I would like to think we've made our stuff better since last month for sure.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, we've been thinking a lot about a different aero package, whether it was Michigan or Kentucky, and it's nice to get back to this. You know, we spent all winter, you know, working on what we needed for this aero package, and the better part of the first part of the season working with it. So it's nice to regroup, get back to that, build some consistency with it. You know, we didn't do too well at Michigan with that package, but we rebounded and did well at Kentucky. But it's good to get back to the 2016 Aero package and build on that for the rest of the year.
Kenny, go ahead.
Kenny Bruce from NASCAR.com. For Matt, the last few restarts, you know, Denny stays out, doesn't come in and take tires. Then a couple more restarts, and you've got Tony right there with you. Were you concerned about either one of those as far as, you know, all of a sudden you had something to deal with maybe you weren't expecting?
I was concerned about all of them. You know, when we came out of the pits and I thought we were leading, I felt okay about that. And then Denny stayed out, which I felt okay about getting by Denny. But, you know, it's so easy here, you know, restarting on the bottom. You know, the outside guy tends to crowd you a little bit, which you should. And then you get down there on that flat. It's real easy to chatter the rear tires and lose momentum. And, you know, I've had that happen here before and got passed by 4 cars off a turn, too. So never was really up front today to do a lot of restarts. But all the ones we had in the middle, I thought that was one of our strong suits. I could turn really good, and I could make some really good moves, you know, on the restart. So I felt okay about it, but you never know what's going to happen. And then, of course, you keep having all those cautions and 2 or 3 lap runs, and it's just you know, another opportunity for the driver to mess up and, you know, spin the tires and keep somebody up alongside you and let them get you out of the groove. So I was thankful we were able to get through the gears good and, you know, have them cleared when we got to 1 and then, you know, hopefully get a little breathing room.
Any additional questions for Matt, Jason, or Coach right here in the front?
George Sione with the Nashua Telegraph. I had talked to Tony before you guys came in about this, about the Dale Earnhardt situation. I just wanted to get your feelings from crew chief, driver, and owner, your perspective on how seriously you think NASCAR is taking, like, concussions and possible brain injury type of situations. Because obviously it's always been connected to, like, football or NFL, but you can see it happens in other sports. And I'm wondering how seriously you guys all take the protocol and those kind of situations.
Well, for me, safety is always first for us. I got to tell you, the improvements and what NASCAR's done, anytime safety comes up, NASCAR's all over it. And I think the development of our cars and all the safety features and everything show that. We've been racing 25 years. We had Denny miss that 4 weeks, and then Kyle's horrific wreck. Other than that, nothing else for us. I don't know that for us, I don't remember, concussions for us, even though we're in a race car and we're going that fast and everything. But I think it's a serious issue in sports today. I think we're so much better medically, that the protocols and everything we have in place is great. But I think it is, anytime it's a serious issue because you want to really pay attention to it. But I think we've done a great job with the cars and the safety features. And obviously it's impacted me and my family, I think. It could definitely be a part of JD's situation. So I think it's one of the most important things we can deal with in sports. And I think people are really paying a lot of attention to it. And I even think there's some new things coming pretty quick because I've been in this world a little bit. And I think we got some things coming from drug discovery and things like that that could really change this issue.
Go up here to Ryan.
Ryan DeCosta, Nesson Fuel. This is for Jason and Matt. Toyota led all but 2 laps today. What led to that dominance, and how do you kind of keep the momentum up as we're in the second half of the season?
I think a lot of it is Friday. I mean, a lot of our guys qualified up front, and then the competition caution, they took 2, and so they kept their track position, and then we had the long green runs, and the cars obviously ran well. So they started in the front, they stayed in the front, and you led a lot of laps. We didn't get a lot of cautions until late in the race, and it's a tough place to pass. You gotta work on your strategy and know when to take 4, know when to take 2, and work towards the end. And it just it paid off for us, and it paid off for Toyota and JGR today.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we got a great race team. We got great race cars and great people. It starts with the boss here next to me. So, I got great teammates. I got great teammates that drive those things every week, and there's great crew chiefs over there, and they've been able to get those things where they need to be each and every week, which obviously makes our job a lot easier. So once you get those guys up front, they're hard to get out of there. They're gonna be up there leading races, and you're gonna have to be just right to beat them.
So Toyota obviously won the championship last year. As you're into the second half of the season, how do you build on that to grow to go for 2 in a row?
Well, you learn what you learn from Adam and Kyle and what they did, what they felt like they did right, what they felt like they didn't, and also look at our race team and what we could have done better. And TRD is providing great horsepower for us. The guys are building great cars back at the shop, and as Coach mentioned earlier, they're working hard, working late nights, and doing everything they can. Championships mean a lot to them, so we're all going to keep learning from each other and keep building on it, and do our best to get one of these things, the big trophy at Homestead.
One of the things that fascinates me about our sport is the teamwork, and it's totally different. In other words, in football, you got one team, you're working with a team. Over here, you have 4. And so the key is how do 4 work together? And it's been amazing for me. It's a tribute to the drivers and the crew chiefs, because you go to the racetrack and you're trying to solve problems, and somebody may find it, somebody will hit it, and then we gravitate in that direction. It's a fascinating thing, and it's very hard to get 4 that work together the way our 4 do. And when you hear the drivers and the crew chiefs, the way they work, I love that aspect of it. And I think we got guys that really share everything in the team meetings, and it's a total team effort. And it goes back to the character and these guys, I think, and the kind of people they are.
Go ahead, Kenny.
For Jason, with this being the last race before, that you guys will run on before the chase starts, what can you learn or what can you do, like when you go to Michigan, you go to Pocono, you go to Watkins Glen, tracks that you aren't going to see in the chase? What can you go there and get that's going to maybe help you all?
Well, I think you can learn something each week. Oddly enough, we went to Indy and tested for 2 days this week, which it's a difficult place to test out of all the tracks we race at. But I felt like we learned a few things. We're any of those things applied today? I would think so. I think you just build, not only track to track or the kind of track it is, but just on your program, in general. So anytime you run well, it's a momentum builder, and anytime you can work with teammates that run well, then you can go back to the shop and continue to build your program. So we'll just do that. We'll keep building on it, and like I said earlier, when we come back here, it's going to take something completely different. You're going to have to be a lot better than you were today if you're going to win it.
Any additional questions here in the Media Center for Matt, Jason, or Coach? We'll wrap it up here.
Sure. Bob Bartis, ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Quick question, given the testing at Indianapolis this week and the flat track and the heat here today, anything that you can take away from this track that you may then implement next week at Indianapolis?
Yeah, where Victory Lane's at, maybe we can. Again, I think the momentum today, I felt like we had a good test there. As I mentioned, it's a tough place to test. If you can come out of there and feel like you learned anything, it's a plus. So I think we learned enough. We should go back and at least be competitive and build, take the momentum we've had here this weekend and take that to Indy and hopefully do the same thing.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Good luck at Indianapolis next week.